Hey there, all my Cogburn friends. It's Mr. C here, and I've got a new story to share with you today. This one comes with a few connections, a few personal connections that I have, as well as just a really special story that I wanted to share. Makes me think of my family. So, the story I'm going to share with you is written and illustrated by Tomie dePaola. Tomie dePaola has so many wonderful stories. And a few short weeks ago, he passed away, which is very sad for those of us that really love his talent and his stories. But he's left them behind for us. And one of my little connections with Tomie dePaola is a good friend of mine that I used to teach with over at Sweet Apple, Mrs. Becky Lane. She is from the same state as he is, so she actually knows him. They worked together on a Italian cooking show with a mutual friend of theirs, and so because of that connection, a couple of my books that I have are actually signed by him. So this is Stage Struck, that he signed for me back in 2005. And then this one I got as a birthday gift that he actually personalized for Mike. That's me. Happy birthday, Tomie, 2004. I'm not going to share those two stories, although they are fantastic stories. I love them very much. The one I want to share with you today is called Nana Upstairs and Nana Downstairs. Like I said, it makes me think of my family. And as we read, I'll share a little bit about why this makes me think of my family so much. So, as I mentioned, that our friend worked with Mr. Tomie dePaola, helping out on an Italian cooking show. And I'm from a big Italian family on my dad's side. And so we would get together every Sunday at Grandma's house for spaghetti. And that was something that I remember every week, almost every week of my childhood. That's what we did on Sundays. So as we read, you're gonna see how I drew that personal connection to this particular story. This is called Nana Upstairs, Nana Downstairs by Tomie dePaola, published by Puffin Books. When Tomie was a little boy, he had a grandmother and a great-grandmother. He loved both of them very much. He and his family would go to visit every Sunday afternoon. His grandmother always seemed to be standing by the big black stove in the kitchen. His great-grandmother was always in bed upstairs because she was 94 years old. So Tomie called them Nana Downstairs and Nana Upstairs. Now, when I went to my Gram's house, Grandma's what I called her. My cousins, my younger cousins, they all call her Nonna, which is an Italian word for grandma. Our great-grandma was no longer alive at that time, but we would go and visit our Gram, who was often standing in the kitchen at the stove, cooking for us all. Almost every Sunday was the same. Tomie would run into the house, say hello to his grandfather Tom and Nana downstairs, and then go up the back stairway to the bedroom where Nana upstairs was. "Get some candy," Nana upstairs would say, and he would open the lid of the sewing box on the dresser, and there would be candy mints. When we would go to my Gram's house, she always had candy too, but I remember licorice was the candy we would always sneak there. Licorice or red vines. Once Nana downstairs came into the bedroom and helped Nana upstairs to the big Morris chair and tied her in so she wouldn't fall out. "Why will Nana upstairs fall out?" Tomie asked. "Because she is 94 years old," Nana downstairs said. "I'm 4 years old," Tomie said. "Tie me in a chair too." Do you think Nana downstairs is going to tie him into a chair? So every Sunday, after he found the candy mints in the sewing box on the dresser, Nana downstairs would come up the back stairway and tie Nana upstairs and Tomie in their chairs. And then they would eat their candy and talk. How special that relationship they must have had. Nana upstairs told him about the little people. Watch out for the fresh one with the hat, with the red feather in it. He plays with matches, she said. Oh, I will, said Tomie. There he is, she said, over by the brush and comb. See him? And Tomie nodded. When Nana downstairs had finished her work by the big black stove and baked a cake to eat before Tomie went home, she would come back upstairs. Now, Nana downstairs would say, as she untied Tomie from his chair, we must all take our naps. Now, I don't remember getting tucked into bed to take naps, but a trip to Graham's house usually meant a pretty full belly, and that meant a lot of us were sitting around dozing off after our meal. After their naps, Nana downstairs would comb out Nana upstairs, upstairs' beautiful silver white hair. Then Nana downstairs would comb and brush her own hair. Now make the cow's tail, Tomie would say, and she would twist her hair and pin it up on top of her head. One time, Tommie's older brother came into the bedroom and saw Nana upstairs with her hair all down around her shoulders and ran away. She looks like a witch, he said. She does not, Tomie said. She's beautiful. Time for ice cream, shouted Grandfather Tom, and Tomie and his brother went with him, and sometimes their father and their Uncle Charles, down to the ice cream store. Now, this didn't happen for us every Sunday, but every now and again, our Grandpa Bud, he would definitely get out hunkering for ice cream. He loved it. And sometimes we would walk down to the ice cream store, and raspberry chocolate chip was definitely one of the family favorites. When they got back, it was time for Nana upstairs to have a snack, and Tomie would help carry the tray of milk and crackers up the back stairway. Once Tommie's father took movies of the whole family. He took movies of Nana downstairs and Nana upstairs, and Tomie stood in the middle. See him there? Right between the two Nanas. One morning when Tomie woke up at his house, his mother came to talk to him. Nana upstairs died last night, she said. What's died? Tomie asked. Died means that Nana upstairs won't be here anymore, Mom answered. You see the look on his face? It's a lot for a little guy. He's just 4 to think about. They went to Tom and Nana downstairs' house, even though it wasn't Sunday. Tomie ran up the back stairway before he'd even said hello. He ran into Nana upstairs' room, and the bed was empty. But he must be feeling. Tomie began to cry. Won't she ever come back? He asked. No, dear, Mother said softly. Except in your memory. She will come back in your memory whenever you think about her. From then on, he called Nana downstairs just plain old Nana. A few nights later, Tomie woke up and looked out his bedroom window at the stars. All of a sudden, a star fell through the sky. He got up and ran to his mother and father's bedroom. I just saw a falling star, he said. Perhaps that was a kiss from Nana upstairs, said Mother. What a sweet thought. A long time later, when Tommy was a grown man, Nana downstairs was old and in bed just like Nana upstairs. Then she died too. And one night, when he looked out his bedroom window, Tommy saw another star fall gently through the sky. Now you are both Nana upstairs, he thought. Such a sweet story. There's a little letter in the back written in 1998 by Tomie dePaola, and it just says here, "This book is a true story. I still consider it a wonderful experience and privilege that I knew not only 2 grandmothers and 1 grandfather, but my Irish great-grandmother as well. The Irish side of my family, I'm half Irish and half Italian." I'm half Irish and half Italian. Actually, I'm quarter Irish, quarter German, and half Italian. But the Irish side and the Italian side, I didn't realize I had that in connection with him. They lived nearby, so we saw them weekly, and I spent many hours with Nana upstairs, tied into the adjoining chair, eating candy mints. She was my best friend when I was 4 years old. The original edition of this book, written in 1972 and published in 1973, was illustrated in 3 colors, black, pink, and ochre. It was not easy to re-illustrate the book in full color. It was hardly a matter of colorizing or coloring in. My drawing style has changed subtly over time. So 25 years later, I have approached Nana upstairs and Nana downstairs as a completely new book. It was important for me to retain the nostalgic feeling of the original, and I did this mostly with the use of soft color. Creating this art was was as emotional experience for me now as it was then. So here's to Honora O'Rourke Mock and Alice Mock Downey, Nana upstairs and Nana downstairs. So this was based on a true story of his own, sharing his stories. I mentioned at the beginning that this book makes me think about my family, and many of my cousins and aunts and uncles, we share those memories of our time at Graham's house, enjoying some spaghetti on a Sunday, sometimes getting some ice cream. So I thought I would share with you a little picture of my Graham, Nona to many. Let's see if I can I can turn it just right. Here, maybe if I come from this side, you can see. The coloring's not great. It might be because I'm coming from the side, but that's her. There it is. Not too bad there. That's my Grandma Joe, and she would have just been my grandma downstairs because she was just my gram. But to my son Gio, she would have been a grandma upstairs because that was his great-grandma. That's a picture of her before she had passed away, getting a chance to hold my son Gio. Family is really important, and holding on to those memories, especially after they've left us, is so very important. So I hope that you have some wonderful memories of your own, of your family, that you are making with grandparents, with your parents. Maybe you even have some relationships with your great-grandparents. I do remember one story on my mom's side, the Irish side. My older brother wasn't quite sure about the much older grandma, so he called her Great Big Grandma. And so we had Great Big Grandma and then just Grandma Frankie. And those are my grandmothers. But Grandma Joe is the Italian grandma, the one that made us spaghetti, the one who we spent so many Sundays at her house playing in the upstairs closet. Actually, we would dig in behind. That's where she would keep some games and things that she would find. We would find when the kids would sneak off. We'd just play for hours, hang out in there and play cards and marbles and all sorts of things. So those are just some of my fondest memories of my childhood. Really glad I got a chance to share this very special book with you. remembering a very special author, Tomie dePaola. If you have not read many of his books, you should keep your eye out for them because the stories he shares are very special indeed. I think you might really enjoy them. All right, I hope you'll have a great day, and I look forward to reading to you again real soon. Take care.